680 News Time, 6:19. This just into 680 News. Shots have been fired downtown. We understand a police officer has been hurt. Let's go live to 680's Carl Hansky for the very latest. Carl, what can you tell us?
Good morning, Paulie. I've been told an officer has received very serious injuries after a confrontation and possibly shots fired with a possible stolen plow in the Avenue Road and Davenport Road area of downtown. I'm told the officer is unconscious. He's being rushed to hospital right now. I don't know if there's an actual snow plow or one of those pickups with the plow up in the front. I'm not sure. This is just happening now, but if you're near Avenue Road and Davenport area, avoid the area and keep an eye out. This is still on the go right now. Reporting live, Carl Hansky, 680 News.
680 News Time, 6:33.
We have breaking news from Avenue Road in Davenport where an officer has been seriously injured.
680's Carl Hansky joins us live with the very latest. What do you know, Carl?
Well, Paul, I'm here at the scene in Avenue Road in Davenport, where the north part of Avenue Road, north of Davenport, now sealed off. There are police cruisers and police officers everywhere. It appears for a confrontation between a police officer and a possibly stolen snowplow or a pickup truck or something with a plow apparatus on the front. We're not quite sure yet. It appears the plow may have been stolen. The person driving around, the officer, may have gone out to confront the plow to get them to stop and was struck, I'm told, head injuries, and at one point had no vital signs. The plow took off. The officer has been rushed to hospital, obviously. The plow then took off. The police are searching for it as we speak and have no update on that search as of yet. But again, an officer severely injured here at Avenue Road in Davenport after it appears being struck by a possible stolen snowplow. Reporting live at Avenue Road in Davenport, Carl Hansky, 680 News.
680 News Time, 7:03.
680 News. This is in-depth team coverage.
A Toronto police officer has been badly injured after being hit by what police say was a stolen vehicle with a snowplow on the front. It happened in the Avenue Road and Davenport area.
680's Carl Hansky joins us live from the scene with the latest. Carl?
Marlene, I'm here at Avenue right at Davenport. There are police cruisers and police officers everywhere. The north side of Avenue Road is completely shut down, and there's an area, I'm looking in the middle of the road, that is covered with a tarp hoisted up by some pylons, and I'm wondering if that is the spot where the officer was struck. Now, this is what I'm told. It appears that a plow may have been stolen this morning, and the person who stole the plow may have been going around ramming into some vehicles. Looks like the officer confronted the plow here, got out of his cruiser, and was struck by the plow in the head, I'm told. He was rushed to hospital, the officer, with no vital signs and haven't been given an update yet. Now, I'm also told that there are some shell casings on the ground here, so it appears that the officer may have opened fire at this plow. That has since left the scene. Police are still searching for the plow, following around. We're told that it is a white plow. It's got a plow in the front and a sander on the back, and the letters TOLLAIS on the side. And so if you see it, please get out of the way. Reporting live at Avenue Road in Davenport, Carl Hansky, 680 News.
680 News Time, 7:04. Now, the officer has been taken to St. Michael's Hospital downtown for treatment. We continue our team coverage with 680's John Stahl, who joins us live from outside the hospital at Victoria and Queen. And, John, we've been told that Chief Blair is at the scene now. Have you seen him yet?
Yeah, that's right. He just walked by us, Paul, about 7 minutes ago. He was walking very briskly with one aide. He pulled up very quickly. He is now inside the emergency unit. There are about half a dozen officers inside the emergency unit. They have no information for us at the moment, keeping us outside. There are about 6 or 7 police cruisers on the north side of the street. We are told by witnesses that the officer was brought in about 35 to 40 minutes ago. He was on a stretcher, and he was receiving treatment by paramedics very aggressively. As it was described to me, they were pumping him like mad. So he's in there at the moment. We have no indication of his condition at this hour, but Chief Blair is inside. Reporting live from St. Mike's, John Stahl, 680 News.
Breaking news on the police officer injured at Davenport and Avenue Road this morning. Let's go live to 680's Carl Hansky for an update. Carl, what can you tell us?
Well, the update I have is that police may have come up with and possibly shot the person driving the stolen plow. This, I'm told, just happened in the Kiel and Bloor area just now. This after an officer was severely injured early this morning while trying to stop that plow that was on a rampage at Avenue Road in Davenport. I have a complete story at the bottom of the hour. Reporting live, Carl Hansky, 680 News.
It's just into 680 News. We go live to St. Michael's Hospital and 680's John Stahl. John?
Well, my name, the suspect that was involved in the incident earlier that created the situation where the officer has been brought to St. Michael's is now himself being rushed into the emergency room. They just pulled up about 30 seconds ago. As you can hear the sirens in the background, I am walking a suspect which we believe has been shot by police earlier within the hour. There are paramedics all around. This is the EMS unit that has just arrived here. Chief Blair is inside the emergency unit himself. Has not emerged yet to let us know what the condition of the officer rushed here prior to 7 o'clock is at the moment. But the door is just opening here as I described the arrival of the suspect, who we understand was shot by police within the last hour or so. They're just carrying him out on a stretcher. Heavy police presence here and security. You can hear the sirens in the background. I can't get a good view of his condition at the moment, but there he goes into the emergency unit. That is the second emergency here within the last hour. Reporting live from outside St. Michael's Hospital, John Saul, 680 News.
680 News time, 8:03.
680 News. This is in-depth team coverage.
2 emergency runs to St. Michael's Hospital this morning. One for a police officer hit at Davenport and Avenue Road by a stolen snowplow. The other for the man suspected of being behind the wheel, felled by police bullets a short time later, several blocks away.
Police Chief Bill Blair is at St. Michael's Hospital. He's expected to let us know the condition of the badly injured officer in a moment. Our John Stahl is there, and we'll check in with him in a moment. But first, our in-depth team coverage of an officer down begins with 680's Carl Hansky at the scene of the suspect takedown, which is on Keele, south of Dundas. Carl?
Carolyn, the stolen snowplow sits idling here on Keele Street, south of Dundas. This is where the suspect behind the wheel was shot by police who'd been following him and trying to get him to stop. Apollo was in one of several vehicles hit by this runaway plow after it was stolen early this morning. He tells me he was driving up Keele Street here when he saw headlights coming right at him.
The guy's about maybe 5-6 feet away from hitting me head on. So I swerved away at the last minute, and he hit my whole back passenger side behind my driver's side. My windows popped out. After he hit me, he swerved. He hit a garbage truck head on, and that's when all the police got out of the car. They started firing on the vehicle. After a minute or two, he sped off again, and then by then, cops were already rushing me down the sidewalk. I never really saw what happened after that, but I heard at least 8 or 9 shots.
The suspect was rushed to hospital, shot several times. An officer was struck by this plow earlier as he stood on the road on Avenue Road north of Bloor, trying to get the vehicle to stop. That officer was rushed to hospital with no vital signs, and the chase was on for this plow. Reporting live on Keele, now south of Dundas. Carl Hansky, 680 News.
680 News time, 8:05. The suspect is now being treated at the same hospital where the injured officer was taken earlier. We are awaiting an update on both of their conditions. Chief Bill Blair is at St. Mike's, and we continue our in-depth team coverage now with 680's John Stahl, who joins us live from outside the hospital at Victoria and Queen. What can you tell us, John?
It was quite a scene about 15 or 20 minutes ago, as you may have heard here on 680 News, Paul, when the suspect was rushed by ambulance into this emergency ward. I'm standing outside the St. Michael's unit here on Shooter Street. He was rushed in very quickly. I couldn't get a good look at his condition. He was covered in blankets, but a heavy police presence. As you mentioned, Chief Blair is inside. He's been here for about an hour. He did poke his nose out about 15 minutes ago and said he would be coming out to speak to us. But I imagine since the arrival of that suspect, he might wait until the condition of the suspect itself is known. At the moment, there's a heavy police presence here on Shooter Street, but no word on the condition of the officer or the suspect. Reporting live from St. Michael's, John Stahl, 680 News.
680 News time, 8:33.
680 News. This is in-depth team coverage.
A Toronto police officer with life-threatening injuries rushed to St. Michael's Hospital after being struck down while trying to stop a stolen snowplow on Avenue Road near Davenport. The suspect, tracked down, shot, and captured on Keele, south of Dundas, also rushed to St. Michael's.
We'll have the latest from the hospital in a moment, but we begin our in-depth team coverage with 680's Carl Hansky, who joins us live with the very latest on the investigation from the scene of the arrest. Carl.
It was a wild police takedown here on Keele Street near a net where a stolen plow slammed into at least one car and a garbage truck before police officers opened fire. Apollo was driving the car that got rammed. He says he looked up in time to see the front of the oncoming snowplow.
His headlights on me, and I didn't see nothing. I didn't see who was driving and nothing.
And then he just hit you.
And then he just hit me.
And then you heard gunshots? How many?
I'd say maybe 8 or 9.
And that was police firing him.
And that was police firing on him, yeah. Crazy.
The suspect was shot several times and rushed to hospital. Police have been pursuing this stolen plow since it started ramming vehicles downtown earlier this morning, then ran down a police officer at Avenue Road in Bloor who had stood in the road and opened fire while trying to force the plow to stop. It didn't work. Reporting live on Kiel North near Annette, Carl Hansky, 680 News.
And the police chief, Bill Blair, is at St. Michael's Hospital. We're waiting for an update on the condition of the officer to come down from the chief in a couple of minutes. We continue our team coverage with 680's John Stahl, who joins us live from St. Mike's. John?
Yeah, still no word from Chief Blair, Marlene. Union President Mike McCormick is also here at the hospital. The chief has been in and out of the emergency ward several times. He has not given any indication about the condition of his officer. The suspect, as you mentioned, was rushed to this emergency unit just prior to 8 o'clock as well. There was a screaming police escort that came along Shooter Street and pulled into the emergency. There is no word on his condition either, so I imagine the police is waiting for the update or condition of the suspect before he joins us here on the sidewalk where it is bitter cold. A heavy police presence is along Shooter Street, waiting for word from the chief as well. Reporting live from outside St. Michael's Hospital, John Stahl, 680 News.
680 News Time, 8:35. The stolen plow is the property of Talias Landscaping and Plowing. General Manager Richard Arros tells 680 News 2 operators were clearing a lot in Regent Park in the Dundas and Parliament area after 5 this morning when they got out of the truck momentarily.
Basically, they saw somebody run up. From what they told me, it was a guy wearing no shoes, and he ran up, and before they could even, they grabbed the door handle to, catch him, and he was in and out and sped off immediately, and he was gone.
Arrows says all of the company's vehicles have GPS tracking on them, and through that, he was able to keep police up to date on the stolen plow's location.
680 News Time, 9:03.
680 News. This is in-depth team coverage.
A Toronto police officer rushed to hospital after being hit by a stolen snowplow early this morning, has reportedly died. The CBC reporting that this morning. The alleged driver of the truck is also in hospital and now under arrest after being shot by police. The Special Investigations Unit is now on the case.
We're going to have more from St. Michael's Hospital. We're expecting an update from Police Chief Bill Blair coming up, but we begin our in-depth team coverage with 680's Carl Hansky, who joins us live from where the arrest was made on Kiel, south of Dundas. Carl?
Marlene, it was here on Kiel Street near Annette where the stolen snowplow's path of destruction ended in a hail of police bullets. Paulo was driving one of at least 3 vehicles rammed by the plow just on this street as it played a game of bumper cars.
In the middle of the road driving down, I seen him hit a car in front of me. Once he hit the car in front of me, I knew that, something was wrong, so I swerved out of the way, and then that's when he hit my car. He would have hit me head on if I didn't swerve out of the way.
And then he hit a garbage truck head on.
And he hit a garbage truck head on.
And then police opened fire.
And that's when police opened fire on him. Wow. Insane.
The suspect was shot several times and rushed to hospital. This all started around 5:30 this morning when the plow was stolen downtown and began ramming vehicles there before it ran into a police officer at Avenue Road in Bloor who was in the road trying to get the plow to stop. The officer, fearing for his life, fired shots at the plow, which struck the officer, then just kept going. Reporting live on Kiel Street near Annette, Carl Hansky, 680 News.
680 News Time, 9:05. We continue our team coverage of Officer Down with 680's John Stahl, joining us live from St. Michael's Hospital, where Chief Blair is as well. And, John, we're getting the grim news, the report coming up from the CBC this morning that the officer has, in fact, died.
Well, we have no official word from Chief Blair on that at the moment. We still expect a statement any time. He has been in the emergency ward since shortly after 7. The suspect arrived by ambulance about 10 minutes to 8 this morning. We are told, of course, that the officer who was rushed early this morning arrived here with no vital signs, and witnesses who were outside the emergency station did report that the paramedics were working very aggressively on him when he was admitted into hospital. The way it was described to me by a witness was he was being pumped very, very hard. So if that report is true, it'll certainly probably be confirmed by Police Chief Blair, who is joined by Union Chief Mike McCormick here at the emergency unit. Reporting live from St. Michael's Hospital, John Stahl, 680 News.
680 News Time 9:06. Now, the general manager of the snowplow company involved in this played a major role in tracking down the stolen vehicle this morning. 680's Charlene Close spoke to him.
Tolius landscaping boss Richard Arrows tells me 2 operators were clearing a lot in the Regent Park area, specifically at 1 Cole Street in the Dundas and Parliament area. He says they were out of the truck when the suspect, apparently not wearing any shoes, jumped inside and put it in drive. He says all of the company's equipment has a pinpoint GPS system.
So I was in communication with the police, giving them updates on his exact location every few minutes. And from what I understand, he was just driving erratically and smashing into vehicles very, very recklessly.
He says it's normal for his plow operators to keep the rigs running, even when they've stepped outside of them. Charlene Close, 680 News.
680 News Time 9:33.
680 News. This is in-depth team coverage.
We are now waiting for official word from Toronto Police on the condition of an officer who was hit this morning at Avenue and Davenport by a stolen truck. The man suspected of being behind the wheel was felled by police bullets a short time later, several blocks away. We'll get the latest from that scene in just a moment.
First, our in-depth team coverage begins with 680's John Stahl, who joins us live from outside St. Mike's Hospital at Victoria and Queen. John?
Brian, we're still awaiting word from Police Chief Bill Blair. He has been in this emergency unit for almost 3 hours now. I was here when he arrived just shortly before 7 this morning. He was operating at a pretty frantic pace in and out of the emergency unit several times. Police Union Chief Mike McCormick, is also on hand here at the hospital. There has been no word from either one. What we do know is that the officer who was rushed here to the hospital just shortly before 7 this morning, or just after 6:30, arrived with no vital signs. And witnesses tell me that he was being administered CPR very aggressively by the paramedic unit who rushed him here. About an hour and a half later, the suspect, who was shot by police, was also rushed here with a screaming police escort just shortly before 8. We have no word on his condition as well. So we await here word of Chief Blair on the condition of both men who were rushed here in this very dramatic incident early this morning. Reporting live outside St. Michael's Hospital, John Stahl, 680 News.
This just into 680 News. We go live for an update from Chief Bill Blair, courtesy of CTV Newsnet.
This is a very tragic day for the City of Toronto and for the Toronto Police Service. I would ask respectfully that the media respect the privacy of the family at this very, very sad and tragic time. The investigations are continuing as to the circumstances under which Sergeant Ryans lost his life and the apprehension of the suspect. The suspect in this matter received certain injuries as a result of his arrest, during his arrest, and the SIU has been notified and is now conducting that aspect of the investigation. That's all I have to tell you right now. We don't have further information with respect to any further arrangements, but we'll make you aware of that when it takes place. Again, thank you for being here.
Chief, can you tell a little bit about his family life?
As I've said, the sergeant was 35 years of age. He's been a police officer for 11 years. He is married. He has 1 small child. We've, of course, been in contact with his family, and they're here, and others are coming here to be with them. And again, I would ask that they be given the opportunity to mourn this terrible loss. And I talked to the men and women who've worked with this guy for 10 years, and he was a fine police officer and a great servant to the people of Toronto. He was out doing his job in the early morning hours in the city in a very dangerous situation, and put his life on the line, and tragically has lost his life doing his job. This is the worst of days.